The story of Pompeii is one of history's most iconic and tragic tales. When Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 CE, the city was engulfed in volcanic ash, leaving it buried for centuries. However, recent discoveries have suggested that the story might be even more complex than originally thought. It's commonly believed that a scorching sea of lava was responsible for Pompeii's destruction, but new evidence hints that an earthquake may have played an equally devastating role during the eruption. This dual catastrophe, both volcanic and seismic, might explain some of the mysteries that have puzzled archaeologists for years. Let's journey back more than 2,000 years, to that fateful day in 79 CE. Around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Mount Vesuvius erupted violently, sending plumes of ash and molten rock into the sky. The people of Pompeii were going about their normal daily routines, visiting markets, working in workshops, and relaxing in their homes, when chaos descended upon them. As lava and ash began to rain down, panic spread throughout the city. The flow of lava was so swift that many had no time to escape. Tragically, an estimated 2,000 people perished, their lives cut short as the lava covered the city, turning everything it touched into ash. For centuries, Pompeii lay forgotten, buried beneath layers of volcanic material, until its rediscovery in the 16th century CE. At that time, an architect, while attempting to divert a river, commanded a dig that led to the city's ruins. What they uncovered was astonishing: an ancient city frozen in time, a snapshot of Roman life at the moment of disaster. Today, Pompeii is one of the world's most well-studied archaeological sites, offering invaluable insights into the daily lives of ancient Romans. Yet, even now, Pompeii holds secrets that continue to surprise researchers. One of the most significant recent discoveries occurred at a site known as the House of the Painters at Work. While excavating, scientists came across two skeletons that seemed to tell a different story about the city's destruction. The skeletons, likely belonging to two men in their 50s, were found in a protective posture, as if they were trying to shield themselves from something falling. What was even more intriguing was that these skeletons were found on top of the volcanic ash, indicating that they had survived the initial eruption. So, if it wasn't the lava that claimed their lives, what was it? Further analysis suggested that an earthquake, occurring during or shortly after the eruption, may have been the cause. The men likely took shelter inside the House of the Painters at Work, only to be crushed when the building's walls collapsed during the earthquake. This unexpected twist adds a new layer to the Pompeii narrative. While the lava flow was deadly, the seismic activity during the eruption may have compounded the destruction, leaving many Pompeians trapped with no escape. Volcanologists now believe that seismic chaos during eruptions is more common than once thought, and it may have played a critical role in the fate of Pompeii. A leading expert explained that the earthquake likely influenced the last, desperate decisions made by the city's residents, as they tried to find safety. This theory is supported by ancient accounts, including those of Pliny the Younger, an eyewitness to the disaster who managed to escape. Pliny, a Roman lawyer and statesman, wrote a series of letters describing the eruption, in which he detailed how the ground shook violently as Vesuvius erupted. Historians and archaeologists have long puzzled over certain inconsistencies in Pompeii's remains. For instance, while many of the city's skeletons were astonishingly well preserved due to the protective layer of ash, the buildings were in much worse shape. Some have speculated that the poor state of the buildings might be due to the earthquake that accompanied the eruption, as structures collapsed and crumbled under the strain of both volcanic and seismic forces. This dual disaster would help explain why it has been so challenging to reconstruct Pompeii's buildings as they once stood. Pompeii was a city of vibrant life and culture, home to as many as 30,000 residents at its peak. It was a thriving hub of the Roman Empire, filled with beautiful homes, bustling markets, and stunning public buildings. The House of the Faun, one of Pompeii's most famous residences, is a perfect example of the luxury enjoyed by the city's wealthier inhabitants. This massive home, which occupied an entire city block, boasted 2 large gardens and walls adorned with painted stucco that mimicked white marble. It was clear to archaeologists that this residence, like many others in Pompeii, belonged to the aristocratic elite. The Forum, another iconic area of the city, was the center of political, religious, and economic life. It was home to several important buildings, including the Basilica, where political and legal matters were discussed, and the Macellum, a bustling market where Pompeians bought and sold goods. Scattered throughout the Forum were various temples dedicated to the gods, reflecting the deeply religious nature of Roman society. If you were to visit Pompeii during its heyday, you would likely see men wearing tunics, with a select few donning togas, a symbol of status worn by candidates running for political office. The toga, a heavy and costly garment, was reserved for special occasions and symbolized the wearer's position within Roman society. One of the most intriguing and mysterious sights in Pompeii is the Villa of the Mysteries, a large suburban house located near the city's walls. Inside this villa, archaeologists discovered a series of frescoes depicting scenes that are still not fully understood. The frescoes are thought to represent some sort of ritual or initiation ceremony, but their exact meaning remains a subject of debate. Villas like this one were not only places of residence but also centers of production. Wealthy Romans often owned extensive farmland, and it was common for them to build processing areas for goods like olive oil within their homes. Another remarkable structure in Pompeii was its amphitheater, which was built around 70 BCE. This massive venue, one of the oldest in the Roman world, could accommodate up to 20,000 spectators. It predated even the famous Colosseum in Rome and was a popular place for gladiatorial games. Seating in the amphitheater was arranged by social class, with the nobility enjoying the best views of the action. The building's unique egg-shaped design allowed for an unobstructed view from any seat in the arena, ensuring that every spectator could witness the brutal contests that took place there. Public baths were also an essential part of Pompeii's daily life. Most homes in the city did not have access to plumbing, so public baths became a place where people from all social classes gathered to cleanse themselves. However, the baths were more than just a place to wash, they were also a center of social and cultural life. The baths featured a series of rooms, from locker rooms where people stored their belongings to massage areas and even reading rooms. Some baths had courtyards for exercise and swimming pools, known as natatio. The Romans believed strongly in the connection between physical health and mental well-being, a philosophy that was reflected in the design and purpose of these communal spaces. Pompeii's bakeries were another cornerstone of the city's economy and daily life. Bread was a staple food for Pompeians, and the city was home to around 30 bakeries, each producing fresh loaves daily. The process was labor-intensive, with mules often used to power the mills that ground the wheat. Pompeii's residents were also known for decorating their city with vibrant frescoes, many of which can still be seen on the walls of buildings today. These paintings depicted everyday life, from bustling streets to serene gardens, offering a glimpse into the daily experiences of the city's inhabitants. In many ways, Pompeii was a city of contrasts, luxury and hardship, beauty and destruction. The tragic events of that fateful day in 79 CE have left behind a complex narrative of survival, catastrophe, and mystery. Today, Pompeii stands as a testament to the power of nature and the resilience of human civilization. For more in-depth explorations of historical wonders like Pompeii, be sure to follow Waves Discovery.